Very good afternoon to all the learners and who were watching session online and who are going to watch the recorded session. And warm welcome to this session. Today, as a part of our course, Postgraduate Diploma in Sustainability Science under Course 7, MSD 017, uh, we are going to discuss one of the important topic that is India's National Action Plan on Climate Change. To discuss, to share some of the India's achievement, how India is going ahead to cope up these climate change issues. We have with us Dr. Susheela Negi, Scientist E, Department of Science Technology, Government of India. It's I have already shared about her through our discussion forum. In brief, for today's I would like to introduce her in a very brief way. Dr. Negi sees doctorate degree in agriculture from the Himachal Pradesh Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, Palampu, and he is in this Department of Science Technology. She's working in this department from the last 15 years and involved in formulation, coordination, and implementation of research programs in the field of climate change science. And she is playing an important role in initiating several new programs related to carbon dioxide research in India, like UPROF, Orisha Prof, and human capacity building programs for Himalayan region in climate adaptation and mitigation. She has been nominated by the Department for Advanced Training and Exposure to Taiwan, United Kingdom, and Japan. So, with this brief introduction, I welcome you, madam, in this session, and for giving us your valuable time to share our India's experience in coping up climate change. I welcome you again, madam, and so now and over to you for the session.
Very good afternoon, and thank you, Dr. Kumar, for a very nice introduction. And I hope I'm audible to all the even participants. Yeah. So very good afternoon to all of you. I hope you all are doing good in your health and the spirit during this pandemic situation. So there are certain things that is not in our hand. So all that we can do is we can take care of the precautionary measure, and I'm sure you all must be doing that. So coming to the COVID situation, I know we all have been following up the stories of COVID during the last 6 to 7 months. The kind of rate of infection, the kind of supports, the health support system we have, and the rate of death. And while following all those stories, we must have all these stories have been even accompanied by the good stories. The good part of this COVID-19 pandemic is there is an improvement in the air quality, purification of the canal, beaches, and river, and the skies look clear, and the environmental noises has all been reduced. So you must have even seen the stories, the dolphin coming back to the canal in Venice, and the view of Dauladar ranges from Jalandhar, Punjab. This, I think, we would have never been even imagined in this century without this pandemic. So the learning from this COVID is very loud and clear that we need to take care of our environment, our nature, and it is all possible through our conscious effort. I'm sure those who has opted for the diploma course in sustainable management has already conscious enough for our environment. So I must congratulate you all to even taking up this course. Coming to the topic, National Action Plan on Climate Change. So why there was a need to have such an action plan in place, and what was the rationale behind it? Who are the implementing agencies? I shall be talking in detail in length. So whenever we see, whenever we talk about climate change or the global warming, the first culprit come into mind is CO2, right? And then CO2 is such an important greenhouse gas without which, the life on this planet Earth would have not been possible. If CO2 would have not been there, the Earth would be around, 30 minus 18 degrees centigrade, and we would have not even, able to live in during harsh condition. So in one way, this CO2 is so important for our existence, and on the other hand, there is so much of hue and cry about this CO2. So why there is so much hue and cry about this CO2 gas. So I'll quote a very beautiful quote. Somebody asked Buddha, "What is poison?" And Buddha replied, "Excess of everything is poison." So So the learning is, it is not the CO2 which has a detrimental effect, but it is the increasing level of CO2 concentration in the atmosphere that has a detrimental effect. So we need to reduce the level of CO2 emission into the atmosphere. So that is how the National Action Plan on Climate Change come into the picture, right? If we see the history of the climate change, the term global warming was inserted into the public domain in 1975. So we can say that the starting of the discussion of climate change starts from 1975. And then in 1988, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change was formed to collate and assess the evidence on climate change. And from then to now, we have different assessment reports with us, IPCC report with us, one, two, assessment report 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So in order to address, so these all reports, they says that there is increasing level in the temperature, there is increased level of emission of the greenhouse gases, and these increased level of greenhouse gases has a threat on Earth, be it a sea level rise, be it a agriculture produce, be it even a production of food grain and the quality of nutrient. So to address all those issues, the government of India has launched a National Action Plan on Climate Change, which was launched in the year 2008 by the Prime Minister Council on Climate Change. So this national action, so you see this diagram wherein it is clearly indicated that global surface average temperature has increased over the last 130 years. If we see the diagram carefully, we see that during the last 100 years, say 180, 1880 to 1980,
Madam, full screen. Madam, full screen.
1980,
Full
there
screen.
is not, there was changes in the temperature up and down, but from 1980 onwards, there is a relatively increase in the mean temperature. So today, the surface temperature has, if we see the average surface temperature for last 130 years, so the temperature is increased around 1 degree centigrade. So if we see the status of capacity in climate change in India, if we consider our strength, we have around 3,000 scientists who have been working in the area of climate change. There are 500 scientists with the international recognition. They have been the part of the assessment report at various capacities on different sectors. And we have 450 institutions who are doing either research or teaching research in the area of climate science. And we have 100 years of systematic climate data. And coming to the weaknesses of the weaknesses, so whatever the efforts we have done till now, it is the fragmented research. And there is a very weak linkages between science and society and science and policies. So whatever the research is being done is actually concentrated in the labs, and there is a very poor connection between the work which is done in the lab to the outreach into the societies which are the end user. So keeping all those things in mind, National Action Plan on Climate Change was launched, and this mission forms a core of NAPCC, which is multi-pronged, long-term, integrated strategies for achieving key goal in climate change. So India is one of the first country to release such a plan with a vision to create prosperous but not a wasteful society. And India has taken a pledge that at any given point of a time, that India will not exceed the uh, emission level that of the developed countries, even we pursue our development objectives. So these are the main aim of the National Action Plan on Climate Change: creating awareness among the representative of the government, societies, industries on the threat which is posed by climate change to encounter these challenges. And we all know that global warming is a global phenomena, but its impact is localized. And India is one of the vulnerable country in terms of its impact. So the core plan of this national mission is solar mission, national mission on enhanced energy efficiency, national mission on sustainable habitat, national water mission, national mission on sustainable agriculture, national mission on strategic knowledge for climate change, national mission on sustaining the Himalayan ecosystem, and national green mission. All these missions are being implemented by different ministries, and this national action plan is reviewed by the Prime Minister Council on Climate Change. And the Prime Minister, and this is the mandate, the nodal agency for implementing these 8 missions is Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change. And these missions are reviewed periodically by the PM councils. So if we see these national 8 missions, 4 missions are based on the adaptations. That is National Water Mission, sorry, National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture, a National Mission on Sustaining the Himalayan Ecosystem, and National Mission on Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. And all these missions are being implemented in coordination with the states, and each state climate change cell has been established, and the implementing agency is working in close coordination with the state climate change cells, and each state climate change cell has been mandated to prepare their state action plan depending upon the vulnerability and risk assessment of their states. Coming to the National Solar Mission, it was launched in January 2010. The mission has a target to develop 20 gigahertz of grid-connected solar power by 2020. And mission aims to promote the development and use of solar energy for power generation, with the ultimate objective of making solar competitive with fossil fuel energy option. So, though India is a tropical country with more than 300 sunny days, and India had a lot of potential to capture the solar energy, but the limitation with solar energy is, as of now, it is not cost competitive with the fossil fuel. So how do we plan to achieve this 20 gigawatt of grid connected solar power? Through long-term policies, specific goal to increasing use of solar thermal technologies in urban areas, industries, and commercial establishment, aggressive research and development, and domestic production of raw material, component, and products. So with and establishing solar research centers, increase international collaboration on technologies, manufacturing, increase government and international fundings. So as a part of ambitious mission to provide electricity to all, the government revised the target of this solar mission from 20 gigahertz to 100 gigawatts. So these 100 gigawatts have been bifurcated into two main parts. One is 60 gigawatt of large and medium scale grid connected ground solar power plants by 2022 and 40 gigahertz of rooftop solar power plant for generation of solar electricity at the point of consumption. So it's a very ambitious plan of Government of India. So if we see the cumulative installation capacity of the states, we see that we take the top 10 solar states where Maharashtra contribute Karnataka contribute 24% and Telangana contribute 16%, followed by Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Punjab, and Uttar Pradesh. So next is National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency. The mission was launched in 2012 and it aims to strengthen the market for energy efficiency by creating conducive regulatory and policy regime, and it also encourage innovation and sustainable business model to the energy efficiency sector. So if we see the National Mission for Energy Efficiency, it aims at four main points. One is regulatory regime, second is policy, third is innovation and sustainable business models. So these are the four main pillars of National Mission on Enhanced Energy Efficiency. One is PET, and one is METE. This is energy efficiency, and third is economic development. And this is being implemented by Bureau of Energy Efficiency and Energy Efficiency Service Limited. I will be talking about what these four components is. So one is PET is Purchase, Achieve and Trade Scheme. So under this scheme, it is the implementing mechanism to accelerate implementation of cost-effective improvement in energy efficiency in large intensive industries. So large energy-intensive industries like pepper and pulp, they are given a target to reduce the emission level at certain point. And under this Trade, Achieve and Perform scheme, each industry has been given a choice to perform in terms of energy efficiency. And if any industry is not able to achieve the target which is being set for them, they have a facility to buy from the others. It is like a carbon trading. Under the carbon trading mechanism also, you can buy or sell your carbon credits. So the PET also work under the similar manner. And if any industry is not able to achieve the target which is set for them, and even if they are not able to buy, then they have to give the penalty to the government. Second is market transformation for energy efficiency. We must have seen the shift in the energy efficient appliances. You must have seen the ACs or the refrigerator or the fan. It comes with the star rating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, the market transformation has also been changed for energy efficiency for the production of energy efficiency appliances. So next comes the energy efficiency financing platform. It facilitates financial institutions to invest in energy efficiency projects and programs. Herein, each industries who wanted to go for energy efficient projects. So government facilitate, giving them loan, or from the government facilitate giving a loan from the bank, or they act as a facilitator. And last is framework for energy efficient economic development. So it deals with developing physical instrument and leveraging finance for energy efficient through risk mitigation. So under this, we have different schemes like partial guarantee for funds, venture capital fund, and energy conservation awards and painting competitions. Some achievement under the National Mission on Energy Efficiency have Unnat Jyoti by affordable LEDs. This has actually reduced the carbon emission by 27 million tons per year. And India's energy intensive industries and other economic sectors promise to invest around 74,000 crore for large scale deployment. Next comes the National Mission for Sustainable Habitat, which was launched in June 2010. Under this mission, the aim is to promote the energy efficiency, natural resource conservation, and urban planning. These are the four components of Sustainable Habitat Mission: formulation of cities development plan, development of adaptation of sustainable habitat standard, capacity building and outreach, research and development, and supplementary measures. And this mission on sustainable habitat is being implemented by Ministry of Urban Development. And this, under the mission, it plans to make urban areas more climate friendly with and less susceptible to climate change by a multi-pronged approach to mitigate and adapt it. The objective of the mission is to improve the energy efficiency in building through extension of energy conservation building codes. We must have seen a lot of glass building coming up in the metro cities like Delhi, Gurgaon, Hyderabad, Chennai. So these glass building has a potential to absorb a lot of solar energy, which result into heating of the buildings. And ultimately, to cool down those buildings, we need to have a lot of ACs or fan in place. So, so it is meant under this mission. Effort has been the objective of the mission is to conserve energy through building code and better urban planning and model shift in the public transport. So unless and until we improve our public transport system, it is very hard to reduce the emission level. So improve management of solid and liquid waste with special focus on waste to energy technologies. Under the sustainable habitat, a lot of emphasis was given on the solid and the liquid waste management. Unfortunately, we don't have a habit of segregating even the kitchen waste, be it a solid or liquid. And if we see the kitchen waste or the waste, the kitchen waste can be used as a production of for the production of nutrient for for the soil, and this or the inorganic material can also be used through the pyrolysis and used as a product. It can also be recycled. So habitat to adapt to climate change by improving resilience of infrastructure, community-based disaster management is the aim of these missions. The mission, these are the key deliverables of the mission, which include development of sustainable habitat standards, preparation of city development plan, preparation of comprehensive and mobility plan that enables city to conserve energy and cost-efficient transport planning, capacity building for undertaking activities relevant to the mission. Next is the National Water Mission, which was launched in the year April 2011, and the mission is being implemented by Ministry of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation. The mission was launched with the aim to conserve water, minimize wastage, and ensuring its more equitable distribution both within or outside state through water resources management and development. Research and studies on all aspects related to climate change on water resources, including quality aspect of water resources, has been aimed under the mission. And it also aimed at promotion of traditional system of water conservation, intensive program for groundwater recharge in overexploited areas, and it also includes intensive capacity building and awareness program. So, if we see the main objective of the national mission, it developed a framework to optimize water use by increasing water use efficiency by 20%, and water needs of urban areas are met through recycling of the waste, and water in coastal cities are also being the seawater has also been used through appropriate technologies through low temperature salination technologies. The mission also seeks to optimize the efficiency of existing irrigation system, including rehabilitation of system and expansion of irrigation. So, if we go to the northern plains like Punjab and all, so you see a lot of people who are into the farming system. They usually do a irrigation through a flooding method. So under this mission, the emphasis was given to use appropriate technologies. Suppose for a horticultural crop like mango, banana, or citrus plant, we can go for a drip irrigation. And for the horticultural crops like vegetables and floriculture, we can go for a sprinkler irrigation to use the judicious amount of water. And last is upgrading storage structure for fresh and drainage system of wastewater. So these are the goal of National Water Mission. One is comprehensive water database in public domain and assessment of impact of climate change on water resources. When we talk about water resources, the mission has done it includes right from glaciers to uh, groundwater, aquifer, everything. And second is promotion of citizen and state action for water conservation, augmentation, and preservation. Unless and until we don't include our stakeholders and shareholders, the awareness or the judicious use of water is impossible. So the mission also aims to promote the citizen share citizen what we call is the participation of the citizen and promotion of citizen and state action. And focus and attention has been given to the vulnerable areas, including the overexploited areas. And as I told you earlier, the mission aimed to conserve 20% of the water efficiency. Coming to the National Mission on Sustainable Himalayan Ecosystem, these are the two National Mission for Sustaining the Himalayan Ecosystem and National Mission on Strategic Knowledge on Climate Change is being implemented by Department of Science and Technology, and I'm associated with implementing both the mission. So when we talk about Himalayas, why we have a special mission on Himalayas? The Himalayas play a very important role uh, because of its diverse biodiversity, or because of its natural geological wealth, or because of its traditional knowledge. And Himalayas are the source of perennial river. If we see and Himalayan region cover almost 16.2% of the total geographic area, which spread from 13 13 states and union territory, including the newly formed union territory, Leh and Ladakh. And Himalayan ecosystem being very fragile, it has adverse effect of both environment degradation as well as climate change. So the main objective under the mission is to build the S&P capacity to address sustainable of Himalayan ecosystem. And how do we achieve this, build a S&P capacity? The mission aims to understand the complex processes affecting Himalayan ecosystem and evolve suitable management and policy measure for sustaining and safeguarding the Himalayan ecosystem. Mission also aims to assess the health status of Himalayan ecosystem for policy formulation and function. And a mission also assists state in the Indian Himalayan region for implementation of actions selected for sustainable development. So basic approach followed under the NMG is networking, strengthening, and capacity building of institution and civil society organization. See, unless and until we don't make the database or mapping of the organization or the mapping of the civil society organization, it is very difficult to work. So the first and foremost thing while implementing the mission is mapping and networking of the institutions, research institution, academic institution, and civil societies bodies. So once we have mapped this institution, the second comes the interlinking based upon their research capacity or based upon their resources or based upon the knowledge they have. So under this mission, what we have done is we have selected a very thematic networks because Himalayas, as I told you earlier, Himalayas is a rich source of biodiversity. Himalaya is rich in traditional knowledge, and Himalaya is even rich in natural and geological wealth, and it also has a rich source of flora, fauna, and forest. So these are the main deliverables of National Mission on Sustaining the Himalayan Ecosystem. One is standardization of data. Second is capacity building. Third is traditional knowledge and community-based networks. Third is Himalayan reporting on Himalayan status report. And fourth is establishing of state-of-art institution on glaciology and state-of-art institution in different aspects of climate change. And last is to have a regional and international cooperation. Since Himalayas consist of 12 Himalayan states, right from Jammu and Kashmir to Manipur, Meghalaya, and Arunachal Pradesh, and we have one union territory, Ladakh, and each state has been asked to prepare their state action climate state action plan on climate change, and each state, and we have established 12 state climate change cell in each state, and each state has been mandated to do the vulnerability and risk assessment, institutional capacity building, and training program for stakeholders, including the government officials, legislator, community-based researcher and organization, and the public awareness communities. So each state has been mandated to do the vulnerability and risk assessment at the state level and district level and block level. So as far as state vulnerability assessment has already been done for all the 12 states, and we are now focusing on developing the risk and vulnerability and risk assessment at the block level in all the Himalayan states. So this is the vulnerability index of Indian Himalayan region, which show the vulnerability. This shows that Assam and Mizoram are highly vulnerable to climate change, whereas Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Manipur, Nagaland, Tripura, they are moderate. They will be moderately affected by the climate change, and state like Sikkim, Uttarakhand, and Arunachal Pradesh are least affected by the climate change. But this is the state vulnerability index. But if we go further to the district level or the block level, the vulnerability index may change. So this is the variability index of all the Himalayan states. We can see that Assam and Mizoram at the highest, and you must have even seen in the newspaper all those reports. Yes. So these, since the state climate change cells are being established in the state, and the state is the prerogative of the state government, and all states that did not have a science and technology department or the environmental and forest department. So state climate change cells have been established in different divisions, and they don't have the capacity to do the vulnerability or the risk assessment studies or the capacity building. So what we have done is we have tie up the state climate change cell with our technical partner like IIC Bangalore and Swiss Development Corporation to do the vulnerability and risk assessment studies and capacity building. And for the awareness and the media workshop, we have tie up with the Center for Media Studies, who is doing all the awareness and awareness program. So as per the mission deliverables, so if we see the progress under the NMC, we have uh, we have Himalayan glaciers and associated hydrological studies, which is being carried out by Wadia Institute of Himalayan Geology and National Institute of Hydrology. And traditional knowledge system and their livelihood has been taken care of Jawaharlal Nehru University, and sustainable agriculture by ICR, and wildlife conservation, flora and fauna by Wildlife Institute Dehradun, and the forestry and biodiversity by GB Pant Institute of Himalayan Bioresource. So far we have mapped 200 R&D institutions and over 250 community-based organizations in Indian Himalayan regions. A network of nearly 150 institutions in region has already been created, and 6 thematic task force anchoring around lead institution in the region who are studying from the geological wealth to the microflora and fauna. And then we have established state climate change cell, which I have just highlighted. And we have also created a Center for Himalayan Glaciology in the Wadia Institute of Himalayan Geology. So several training program, capacity building training program or awareness program has been conducted during the last 8 to 9 years, and we have trained almost 1.5 lakhs people. Next, the National Mission for Green India. The mission was launched in 2011, and it is being implemented by Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change. And mission aims to protecting, restoring, and enhancing India's diminishing forest cover and responding to climate change by a combination of adaptation and mitigation measures. And mission also aims to enhance the carbon sink potential of forest, and it is aimed that one third of the country should be under forest cover. And the Forest Survey of India just launched their report in 2019, and it says that India, the 24% forest cover, and in the report they have reported 24% forest cover in India. The main mission of Green India is to increase the forest cover by 10 million hectares, and out of these 10 million hectares, they have aimed 5 million hectare in the increase in the forest land, and 5 million hectare in the already forest, improve the quality of the forest cover. This is for the existing forest cover. And they also aim to improve the ecosystem services like biodiversity, hydrological services, and carbon sequestration. So it has been reported that the carbon sequestration potential uh, by there are different species. The selection of species, when we talk about carbon sequestration potential, then the identification of species is very, very important. Which species has a potential to more CO2 sequestration, and we should go for the species which are more adaptable to a particular location and which has a higher potential to sequester more carbon. So coming to the National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, which is being launched in September 2010. The aim of the mission is to transform agriculture into climate resilient production system, grow an ecological sustained agriculture production, and ensure food security and equitable access to food resources. And it aims to enhance the livelihood opportunities of the people who are, in India, most agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy, and it contributes around 17% of its GDP, and it's provide employment to about 60% of the population in India, and around 75% of the population depend on farming in India. So the fourth trust area which is being highlighted under the National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture is Dryland Agriculture, biotechnology, risk management, and access to information. So the mission's aims to promote integrated farming system like the covering crop, livestock and fishery, plantation and pasture-based composite farming for enhancing livelihood opportunities, and popularizing resource conservation technologies and inducing practices that support mitigation effort in times of extreme climate conditions, and promoting effective management of available water resources and enhance water use efficiency through application of technologies. If we see that National Water Mission, National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture, or National Mission on Sustainable Himalayan Sustaining Himalayan Ecosystem, all these missions are interlinked. All these missions are interlinked and complementary to each other. So when we talk about the sustainability of agriculture, the four functional areas which are focused under the mission is: one is research and development, second is technology and practices, third is infrastructure, and fourth is capacity building. So through these four functional areas, the mission aims to focus on these 10 dimensions, that is, improve crop seed quality, livestock and fish culture, water use efficiency, pest management, improve farm practices, nutrient management, agriculture insurance, credit support, market, access to information, and livelihood diversification. So, with the changing climate, what we have observed is the infestation by pests and insect has also increased. Suppose the dryland agriculture. In the dryland, earlier we did not have the infestation of fusarium in the chickpea or the pigeon pea. Now, with the changing climate, or with the moisture during that, with the shift in the monsoon, or with the changing temperature, so we see a lot of insect and pest, new insect and pest in these areas. So as I told you earlier, so there are four areas. That one is dryland agriculture. So what is dryland? Dryland is basically the area which receive low or erratic rainfall and which did not have irrigation facilities. And India has around 68% of dryland agriculture, and which support around 40% of human and 60% of livestock population. So, so that's why the dryland agriculture is one of the important area which is aimed under the mission. So, through the research and development intervention in the dryland area, the mission aims to promote of organic agriculture, develop technologies for water use efficiency, and management of salt-affected and waterlogged areas, and explore change in sowing time as adaptation strategies. So, if we see the reports, if we see the reports or the discussion, so there are a lot of discussion about the extreme events, be it a high temperature, be it a low temperature, be it a forest fire, or be it be it a change in the pattern of rainfall. So, if under, we have IMD comes up with a week, a fortnight, or a weekly weather forecast, and we, based upon the IMD forecast or the weather forecast, we can also, and then depending upon the season, we can also shift the sowing time of the crop to adapt to the changing climate. If we see the technological practices, so promoting agricultural heritage and traditional method of conservation and management of resources, low cost greenhouse along with micro irrigation or fertigation techniques, and promoting new technologies such as system for rice intensification. So when we talk about the infrastructure, it is the strengthening of agriculture farms of government or the state agriculture universities to test and study suitable farm practices for different field conditions. And it also looked into the infrastructure and the institutions to make available timely advisories to farmers to minimize the loss. And it also looked after the setting up of plant or center for manufacturing, testing, and training of new tools or machinery or equipment for improved cultivation. Capacity building is one of the important areas under all the missions. So establishing technical backstopping through a responsive and efficient extension system with public-private participation, demonstration and training on use of biofertilizer and biopesticides to improve organic farming. What happened is with the green revolution, blue revolution, or the yellow revolution, a lot of we have all focused on the productivity of the agriculture, and we have not care much on the soil microflora. So with the increased use of pesticide or the chemical fertilizers, the soil has become, soil health has deteriorated over a period of time. So under this mission, the training for use of biofertilizer and biopesticide to promote organic fiber has given a great emphasis. When we talk about the biotechnologies, in use of biotechnology in crops, so use of biotechnology in livestock, or use of biotechnology even in fisheries. So the biotechnological tools help us to development of crop varieties tolerant to biotic or biotic stress, drought, salinity, and high temperature, development of livestock or fish varieties to cope up with biotic and abiotic stresses, and screening of indigenous plant and animal genome and cataloging them according to specific threat. And through the biotechnology, we are able to produce the true potato seeds and hybrid right strain. So if we see the potato or the cold crops like cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, rolled corn. So the potato seed, whatever we eat, whatever the potato we eat is basically a modified stem. So if we have to produce a potato seed, it takes basically 2 years. And similar is the case with core crops like cabbage and cauliflower. So the seed production takes 2 years because in the first year we use the modified stem. Cabbage and cauliflower is also a modified stem. So basically we eat the modified stem. So if we have to go for seed production of cabbage or seed production of cauliflower, we have to actually dig out the cabbage or the cauliflower during that season, and that has to be kept under the trenches. Uh, and in the next season, in the next spring, we again transplant those cabbage and the cauliflower, and with the low temperature, the uh, the flowering take place in cabbage and cauliflower. So, these are all biotechnological. Through this biotechnological tool, we are able to develop the tolerant or the resistant varieties of different agriculture and the horticulture crops. So, and the use of micropropagation and tissue culture techniques to improve the varieties, and formulation of dynamic contingent seed production and distribution plan is one of the objective under the mission. When we talk about the biotechnology and infrastructure, what kind of infrastructure is needed to have needed needed needed? It is the establishment of seed producing farm and treated plant producing food quality seed and planting material, and strengthening the research infrastructure in state agriculture university or ICR institutions. Increase investment in infrastructure for production and management of good quality planting material and facilities for economic and development of seed reserve for implementing alternative cropping strategies to mitigate risks arising out of extreme events. So basically, what happened is agriculture is a very labor intensive intensive farming, and with little change in the rain pattern, the whole crop season whole harvesting season, crop season gets changed. So there are the risk management. The one of the trust areas, even risk management. Under the risk management model for risk assessment to assess risk exposure in agriculture, insurance product, weather index has already been given a special objective. Designing user-friendly decision support system for regional specific contingency plan, research on credit assessment and risk management, and designing and customized credit plans, innovative scheme product which recognizes various nature of agro businesses. So coming to the technology practices under the risk management, we have crop weather forecast models to aid field-based planning and operational activities, upscaling of Kisan credit card scheme to cover all eligible farmers, and increase of the insurance policies to all the agriculture and the horticulture crops, and awareness programs on these insurance plans. So coming to next, the most important thing is access to information. So one of the mission aims to develop a customized market information intelligence and forecasting system for farmers, and develop a domestic standard for food safety, quality, and adaptive global standards. So under the access to information, the Kisan knowledge management system has been developed, and promotion of food processing and other similar value addition related industries are have also given an emphasis, and supporting community partnership for food and forage bank to manage scarcity and mitigation risk. So next is National Mission on Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. So basically, the National Mission on Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change, it also focus on the adaptation part. The primary objective of the mission is to build national S&T capacity in climate change to develop a strategic knowledge plan. So it is basically a base. The strategic knowledge is the new knowledge which has a policy implementation, which has a policy uh, implication. So in order to achieve this mission, we seek to build a vibrant and dynamic knowledge system on climate change, create institutional capacity building and research infrastructure, seeks to build knowledge and research networks, develop national capacity for modeling and regional impact on climate change. So these are the major projects or the program launched under the National Mission on Strategic Knowledge. These are Center of Excellences, major R&D programs, state climate change cells, network programs, human capacity building, global technology watch group, and there are a couple of fellowships, and we have even a collaboration with Indo-German Center on climate change. So when we see when I say strategic knowledge means it's a new knowledge. So the state climate change cell are the partner in implementing this mission, and these state climate change cell has been given the mandate of vulnerability and risk assessment, human capacity building program, public awareness, and institutional capacity building program. So I have already in my last 2 or 3 slides, I did mention that the foremost thing is networking of the knowledge institution. Unless and until we don't have unfortunately we don't have kind of in this sharing of knowledge has been very limited among all of us. So through this, under the strategic knowledge, efforts have been made to create our knowledge networks. So we have created our networks of around 150 institutions, where around 250 scientists are working together with the common theme. So these themes are on the climate change and human health, climate modeling, climate change and coastal vulnerabilities, and urban climate. So with the changing climate has an effect on human health as well. So with the changing climate, a lot of new diseases have come up during the last 1 decade, be it chikungunya or dengue. The vector-borne diseases, with the rise in temperature and the humidity, they make the vector congenial for proliferation. So chikungunya and dengue are where the chikungunya or dengue, which has not been reported earlier, has now been reported with the changing temperature. So when we are talking about the capacity building program, the capacity building program has been designed at different levels, be it administrators, be it a legislator, be it a the non-governmental organization. So these are the 6 institutions, which are imparting the training program in the area of climate change, in the area of climate science. That is Administrative Staff College of Hyderabad, Indian Institute of Public Administration, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Social Sciences, Indian Institute of Forest Management, and Ashoka Institute of Environment. So these are basically the institutions which are impacting a lot of training program in all aspects, and we the under the mission also we have been given the support to these organizations to impart the training. So coming to the conclusion, uh, as we have seen that there is no ambiguity about the human-induced climate change taking place around the globe. Uh, and currently the approach to climate change as seen in the National Action Plan is little broad. Solar energy efficiency and forestry mission include mitigation component, which has a quantifiable target, whereas mission on sustainable agriculture, water, and sustainable Himalayan ecosystem are purely adapted in nature. So the missions on water, agriculture, and forestry, these are multi-sectoral, interlinked, and multi-departmental in nature. And the solar and India as a nation is uh, able to maintain a sustainable lifestyle. And while responding to climate change also, India is charting a new developmental path that is ecological sustainable. And at any point of time, we will maintain our sustainable lifestyle, even focusing on our highly developmental path. With this, I will end my talk here. And thanks for patience listening. Be safe and be conscious. Thank you very much.